Most people think millionaires are born with better luck or smarter genes. They're not. The real difference is how they think about money, risk, and themselves. And the good news is that mindset can be learned. The first thing millionaires do differently is they separate their identity from their job. Your job is what you do. It's not who you are. When you fuse those two together, you become fragile. You defend your job instead of building your future. You stay in situations that don't serve you because leaving feels like losing yourself. Millionaires see their job as a tool. It's a vehicle to generate capital. Once you have capital, you have options. You can invest it. You can start something. You can buy assets that work for you while you sleep. But most people never reach that point because they're too busy protecting their job title. The second shift is understanding leverage. This is critical. You have limited hours in a day. You can only trade so much time for money. But leverage multiplies your efforts. It's other people's time, other people's money, systems, content, code. Anything that lets you do more without doing more. A millionaire mindset person looks at their day and asks, what can I do once that benefits me 1,000 times? What can I build that doesn't require my presence to generate value? That's leverage. That's the path to scaling beyond your hourly rate. The third piece is how they handle failure. Regular people see failure as proof they're not cut out for something. Millionaires see failure as data. It's feedback. It tells them what doesn't work so they can try something else. They've failed more times than most people have tried. That's not luck. That's iteration. And here's what ties all this together. They think in systems and patterns instead of isolated events. One failed business isn't a disaster. It's a lesson that applies to the next one. One rejection isn't personal. It's just a no from one person. They zoom out and see the bigger game being played. This is why two people can have the exact same opportunity, and one becomes a millionaire while the other stays stuck. It's not the opportunity. It's the lens they're looking through. The millionaire mindset isn't about being greedy or ruthless. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that money is a tool for freedom and that building wealth is a skill you can develop. In the next section, we're going to break down the specific habits that reinforce this mindset, because knowing this intellectually is one thing. Actually rewiring how you think about money and opportunity is another. That's where real change happens. So let's talk about what that rewiring actually looks like in practice. The first habit is learning to see problems as profit opportunities. Most people see a problem and think someone else will solve that. A millionaire in mindset sees a problem and thinks, how could I solve that and get paid for it? That shift alone changes everything. You start noticing gaps in the market. You start asking better questions. You stop being a passive consumer and start being an active problem solver. The second habit is obsessing over value creation, not just income. This is crucial. A lot of people chase money directly, and it slips through their fingers. But when you focus on creating real value for people, money becomes the natural byproduct. You're solving problems people actually care about. You're making their lives easier or better. That's what scales. That's what builds sustainable wealth. The third habit is treating every failure as data, not as a personal rejection. Millionaires fail constantly. The difference is they don't spiral. They extract the lesson immediately. What didn't work? Why? What would I do differently? Then they move forward. This is why they compound their learning so much faster than everyone else. They're not emotionally attached to being right. They're attached to getting results. The fourth habit is surrounding yourself with people playing a bigger game than you are. Your peer group sets the ceiling on what you think is possible. If everyone around you is struggling paycheck to paycheck, that becomes your normal. Your brain accepts it. But if you're around people building businesses, investing, creating multiple income streams, your brain starts to believe that's normal too. Proximity to ambition is contagious. The fifth habit is reinvesting your early wins instead of lifestyle creeping. This is where most people break. They make their first real money and immediately upgrade their life. New car, nicer apartment, more expensive coffee. But millionaires do the opposite. They keep their lifestyle modest and reinvest every dollar back into whatever's working. That compounding effect is what separates the wealthy from everyone else. Notice what all of these have in common. None of them require special talent or connections or luck. They're all mindset shifts. They're all choices you can make starting today. The person who builds wealth isn't smarter than you. They just think differently. They see the world through a different lens. And that lens is learnable. So what does that lens actually look like in practice? It's simple. Wealthy people ask different questions. When something costs money, they don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, how do I afford this? It's a subtle shift, but it changes everything. The first question closes doors. The second one opens them. They see problems as opportunities to solve for other people. They understand that money flows toward value. Create value, money follows. They think in systems, not transactions. One job, one paycheck. That's transactional. Building something that generates income while you sleep. That's systematic thinking. They're obsessed with learning, not because they love school, because they know that knowledge compounds. Every skill you develop, every book you read, every person you learn from, it all stacks. It all multiplies over time. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Millionaires fail constantly. The difference is they don't see failure as the end. They see it as data. They extract the lesson and they move forward. Your first business might tank. Your first investment might lose money. Your first attempt at anything might flop. That's not a sign you should quit. That's the cost of admission. That's how you learn what actually works. The richest people you know didn't get there by playing it safe. They got there by taking calculated risks and learning from every single one. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one area of your life where you're thinking like you're broke even though you're not. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's a skill you want to learn. Maybe it's a business idea you've been sitting on. Now flip the question. Instead of asking what you can't do, ask how you could do it. Don't answer immediately. Sit with that question. Let your brain work on it. Because the moment you shift from I can't to how can I, you've already won. You've already joined the people who build things, the people who create wealth, the people who change their circumstances. That mindset doesn't cost anything. It doesn't require permission. It doesn't require a degree or a trust fund or connections in the right places. It just requires you to think differently starting today. That's your real wealth, not the money. The ability to see possibilities where other people see obstacles. Everything else follows from there.